The Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, Technology Group of Atlanta, all this and more. As we break it down in layman's terms, I got a special guest today, none other than Todd Peneguy. Todd, welcome to Layman's Terms.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Well, Todd, you're doing big things here in Atlanta through an organization called TAG. You've got a big event taking place. Well, it's not an event, it's a movement called the Internet of Things Symposium, Industry 4.0. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Long titles, and you're the chairman of this committee, this movement. Now, how did you get involved with this particular event through TAG?
So TAG is an incredibly unique organization. It's the biggest technology association in North America.
Check that. The biggest one, and it's in Georgia, in North America?
Yeah, and some argue it's one of the biggest in the world. Even bigger than you'd think Silicon Valley would have something bigger, but not even close. We have the Technology Association in Georgia has over 30,000 members and 2,000 companies that are member organizations. It's a pretty impressive group. And
you've got a signature event taking place, so the magnitude of that's got to be quite challenging and awesome, actually.
Yeah, so with TAG structure, there's 34 what they call societies, call it a special interest group. And I happen to sit on two boards, Cloud and Mobility. And it's actually those two and a third one. So Cloud, Mobility, and Analytics are coming together to host this event. And almost from the beginning, this thing was a little bit different from what you typically see at an event in Atlanta, Georgia.
And what we're talking about is IoT, the Internet of Things Symposium, Industry 4.0. I keep saying that because it's interesting and because it's the Internet of Things. And I got to ask you, in layman's terms, what is the Internet of Things to you? What does it mean to you, Todd?
So the guy who coined the term, the Internet of Things, his name is Kevin Ashton. I think he's a Gartner analyst.
Okay.
Who was talking about all the connected devices in the late 90s and RFID tags and well, just that thing. So like this is a thing, a phone, right?
Your cell phone communicates to other devices.
That's exactly right. But it's evolved beyond that now. According to Gartner and other trustworthy associations, there's going to be about 50 billion things connected to the internet. And I'm talking like from peanut farmers using Internet of Things to test soil conditions and pH balances to optimize yield, to pacemakers where they're implanting things on hearts, right?
So it can save lives, it changes infrastructure. We got smart cities, we got smart technology. It's just staggering what devices can communicate to do.
That's exactly the point.
And I get excited because I read a stat, I think it was 2008, there were more devices connected to the internet than people.
That's exactly right.
So think about it. And you mentioned even farming industry in the state of Georgia. Think about that impact. And we mentioned earlier in this interview, we talked about Georgia and the TAG and the impact of the numbers here. This event is really about driving the point home of the ecosystem of Georgia.
That's exactly right. So Georgia has what I call the most powerful technical ecosystem in the world. And I've boldly made the statement to literally hundreds of senior executives who are from the world.
Okay.
Asia, Europe, the West Coast, the Northeast, and not one of them has called me an idiot, which is interesting. And the way I define this ecosystem...
You haven't been called an idiot recently, but not through this anyway, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So what's interesting, what's different is... Georgia, above and beyond TAG, you've got some amazing associations like the Georgia CIO Leadership Association, or TechBridge, or SIM, or Metro Atlanta Chamber, or North Fulton Chamber, or Cobb Gwinnett Chambers, and then you have the University System of Georgia. And the point is this: the cadence at which our senior executives in the tech sector get together to share ideas, help each other solve problems, or simply give back to our community in general, there's nothing like this anywhere in the world, and I have yet to have anybody challenge the statement.
Well, I can sense from talking to you offline, in pre-production, that the passion is there for you. It's more than an event; it's a movement.
That's exactly right. So here's the question that I'm posing. We have, which nobody can argue against, this incredibly powerful ecosystem, right?
Here in the state of Georgia.
In Georgia. Why aren't we leading? Truly leading. So this event, it's a movement to galvanize a core group of our leaders within technology across all industry verticals in Georgia to truly position us as a global leader within the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, and I'm going to come back to that 3 to 5 years. That's a major task, to be the global leader. In fact, when it comes to being a global leader, the United States is represented. I mean, China and Germany have the foothold in the Internet of Things, IoT. They're doing things with Industry 4.0, and we talk about the Industrial Revolution. I mean, and how the magnitude of this is awesome from the standpoint. That's where we're headed. And I'm going to get on my soapbox about the Industrial Revolution because I did a little homework here. You've got steam-powered engines. Then we went to the phase of assembling electronics. Then computers. Then you had the 5 waves, PCs, desktop, the Internet, and now the 6th wave. See, the 6th wave is the Internet of Things. And that is so powerful that that's transcending another industrial revolution.
So let's.
So I did my homework there, right?
No, respect, and let's pause there for a minute because for those that are watching this to really drive this home. So the third industrial revolution, right? So steam-powered engines back in the 1700s.
Right.
The next one, as you said, was electricity in the assembly line,
Sure.
turn of last century. Then you had the computer industrial revolution was in the 50s. And out of that, you've had the 5 waves of technical innovation, mainframes, microprocessors, PCs, desktop internet, and then the mobile wave.
Right.
We're in the 6th wave of the third industrial revolution. It's so massive that it's propelling us into the 4th industrial revolution.
And hence the name of the conference, Industry 4.0.
That's it.
You know,
in
in
the
a
Internet
nutshell.
of Things. Yeah. In the Germans, as you said, the United States isn't leading on this. The Germans coined the phrase, the 4th Industrial Revolution, back in 2011. And you listen to Angela Merkel speak, the
Right.
Chancellor of Germany. Whenever they talk about the German economy, it's about Industry 4.0. And then late last year, the Chinese came out with their big plan, which is Made in China 2025, which when you strip all the marketing glitz away, it's we have to compete against the Germans, not the United States.
So we talk about competition. We talk about 3 to 5 years, Georgia having that global presence. If not Georgia, I mean, we have the infrastructure throughout the whole entire state. We've got associations like TAG and other organizations. So all the pieces are in place. Really, it's about leadership. It's about getting the calling out, wake-up call, and that's why the symposium is huge, and it starts in July 19th, correct?
That's exactly right. It's going to be at the Renaissance Waverly Hotel, attached to the Cobb Galleria Mall. And our goal is 500 people with a laser, steadfastly committed focus on senior executives from all industries. And let me define that.
Sure.
Leaders from the agribusiness community. We are doing some amazing things like blueberry farms down in the Peneguy swamps, where eyes are starting to turn to Georgia for leadership. We're talking the military in Georgia, state and local government, healthcare, finance, education, manufacturing, retail,
Okay,
logistics.
you're blowing my mind away because you're talking about all industries, whether it's agriculture or it's manufacturing or it's technology. It's everything, and Georgia delivers in that.
That's
the numbers
exactly
are there. We just need the leaders.
It's exactly it.
Step up in that.
You know, again, if you think about it, the ecosystem in Georgia is a microcosm of the global economy. We're a hub for logistics. We're a hub with the Ports Authority. We're a hub for healthcare tech and financial tech. You know, something like 70% of the world's financial transactions are coursing through companies based here in Atlanta, Georgia. Are you kidding me?
I mean, right there's your calling card, and you're putting on this time frame, 3 to 5 years, but you've got to start with a signature event, hence the symposium taking place. But before the symposium takes place, you've got what's called a hackathon taking place, which is another event, a prelude to the symposium. In layman's terms, quickly, the hackathon, what's that all about?
So most people think of hacking as in breaking into computer systems and implanting viruses. Well, and I was pretty ignorant to this about 6 months ago. And what I've learned is, well, no, in the context of this, it's hacking away at the keyboard all night to solve a business problem.
Sure.
Right? So 6 months ago, there's no way we could do this. It was impossible, thinking that's just too much to do year one. Then we heard a cool story. There's a company organization called the Things Network over in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And they did crowdsourced funding. And in 4 weeks, they raised $25,000.
$25,000?
And implemented the entire infrastructure to cover the city of Amsterdam. 50 square miles. That's a cool story. So our lead sponsors are SAP.
And it's actually hosted at SAP, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
So, and then it's Global Payments. They're not even vendors in this industry. They, however,
But they're in Georgia.
that's exactly right.
All right.
Yeah, so they're one of our presenting sponsors, and they're flying these guys in from the Netherlands to speak at the event. And because of that, we said, well, we might as well add a hackathon. Here's what's pretty cool, though, and this shows the momentum that this is building so quickly. We just last week got the notification out to hackers come and be a part of this. As of the end of last week, we maybe had 20 people registered. Our goal was 60 people. We eclipsed 60 today.
Well, congratulations on that. You've got the hackathon taking place Thursday, June 16th.
Yeah, that's
And then we've
right.
got the Symposium, July 19th. You got a mission, 3 to 5 years, to make Georgia the global leader in this whole Industry 4.0. That's a major task. You're the chairman of the committee. Let's talk a little bit about the committee structure. I mean, there's a lot of people through TAG and your organization driving this event home.
You know, Doug, from the very beginning, this was different. There's something about it, right? So sitting on the TAG mobility and cloud boards and seeing both groups wanting to do something, I said, hey, let's work together.
Yeah.
And I volunteered to chair this thing. And within the first week of sending out emails to both boards, we had over 40 people volunteer to help out. Here's what's different. Over half of them were senior executives from companies like Coca-Cola, Equifax, First Data, Global Payments, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Board of Regents, University System of Georgia.
Right. The infrastructure's there, the leaders are there, they're volunteering. That's the magnitude of this.
That's exactly it. Since then, we have over 60 or 70 senior executives, and I'm talking CIOs, CTOs, and SVPs who have all said, yes, this makes sense. We're behind it. An example is Jared Miller, CTO for the Atlanta Falcons. He's building a new stadium, kind of a busy guy.
A little bit.
But he'll stop and take a call and geek out with me for a little bit on the impact this is going to have in the whole community around the stadium that they're building.
Well, Todd, I mean, you've got a lot on your agenda running this event of this magnitude, but obviously it's more than just an event. It's a movement in leadership. The goal is 3 to 5 years to be a global leader in the Internet of Things and Industry 4.0 and bring it home to the state of Georgia. It's well represented. We have the ecosystems. We got everything in place. Now it's just to get people on board. Is there anything else that you want to add? I mean, we've got the events. You can check out the website for more information. Anything else that you'd like to add today?
Yeah, I think in closing, and as you said many times, if this is just an event, we've failed miserably.
Sure.
This is a movement to galvanize a core group of our leaders across all industry verticals and bring them together. And at the very end of the event, we're going to have the most senior executives that are in attendance to issue a call to action.
Starting with the leadership and streamlining that.
That's exactly it. Then we've got these two breakout rooms. We're gonna have the executives, leaders. We're gonna ask them to do just that, to lead, and then have them without any vendors involved to roll up their sleeves and then ask them questions. Okay, what is it that we, the leaders of Georgia, need to do in order to create some sort of persistence so this doesn't end with a fizzle, but actually has sustainability, so that truly in 3 to 5 years we've got the talent coming out of our school systems, and we have the infrastructure in place on which to build so that heads turn on a global basis for Georgia as this leader.
Well, that journey in leadership starts with that first event, that signature event, the Internet of Things Symposium. But more importantly, it's about building Georgia as a smart state. We talk about smart cities of IoT. Let's make it a smart state, and let's lead the way. I want to thank my special guest today on Layman's Terms of Business, Todd Peneguy, chairman of the Internet of Things Industry Summit. Georgia, let's be a smart state. Let's lead the way in Industry 4.0. I'm Doug Lehman, breaking it down in layman's terms. Let's keep it social.